Hasbro revealed they are unable to re-release Transformers Cybertron video games because Activision's not sure what hard drives they're on. That amazes me. Most people, when they have an achievement or they complete something or they build something, they keep it or at least some kind of memento of it because they are proud of what they have done. How on earth can somebody create a whole ass video game and forget where they put it? No, seriously. I have the two real games that count in the Cybertron series, which is War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. The rest can take a flying walk. I couldn't care less for them. Once they started trying to include the Michael Bay verse, like, no, keep them separate. But the article goes on, much to the dismay of Transformers fans everywhere. Hasbro has officially confirmed that despite their interest in remastering the franchise, Cybertron trilogy of video games, such a release is currently unlikely due to developer Activision having reportedly lost the title's original source code. That happens a lot. One of the reasons that the Silent Hill 2 remake was so poorly done was because they couldn't find the original source code. I believe that Final Fantasy VIII on Steam, back before the remaster came out, used MIDI or MIDI music because Final Fantasy Square Enix somehow lost the code to one of their flagship titles. I don't understand how this is possible. Like I said, I revere these games so much. I am literally looking at a shelf full of games from the Nintendo era all the way to Xbox 360 / PlayStation 3. I have a bookshelf that is a shrine to the old games I played in my childhood. And these people make the games and they're so careless that they lose them. Johnson, get in here. Yes, sir. Why am I hearing that you're wasting time trying to back up the game's source code? Well, sir, people might want this game remastered 10 years from now. Nonsense! We have more important things to think about. The second game, Fall of Cybertron. The major selling point will be the Dinobots. What do you think of the idea of making the Dinobots DLC for that game? I don't know. I think that's a bit exploitative. Nonsense! Now get back to work on the DLC and stop worrying about backing up the game. I am sorry. It's just, to me, it's unbelievable that this actually happens, that people lose the source code for these games. However, it turns out that this might not be absolutely true, or somebody is quickly making a cover-up. I should mention that these articles are from Bounding in the Comics, and a little while after the original article, another article came out that states the following: Activision pushes back against Hasbro's claim that they misplaced source codes for Transformers Cybertron series. It's not lost and never was. That makes me wonder, okay, somebody's lying then. Why would Hasbro just say that the source code was lost when that does not benefit them in any way to just up and say that? No, I can't say to you that I'm confirming that Activision is lying here. I mean, either it could even be a situation where nobody's lying. There was just a misunderstanding. That's totally possible. I just tend to look at who benefits most from what's said and then start to try to draw my conclusions from there. The important thing is, though, is that with Activision saying that the code is not lost, that they do in fact have the code, it means that we could possibly see a remaster. Please don't do a remake, though, because we all know what's going to happen. If you do a remake, it's going to be remade for modern audiences, which means basically that Transformers fans can go kick rocks. Suddenly, Optimus Prime will go from being a stoic, honor-bound, and responsible leader to someone who constantly talks about his feelings and why doesn't anybody think about me? You know, it's sad that we live in an age when a robot, Optimus Prime, is like peak manhood. Modern audiences today would call him toxic. The article continues, when a company eats a company that eats a company, things get lost, and that's very frustrating. The representative told Transformers-centric news outlet TFW 2005, which is, sorry, I'm going off the article here. 2005 is when the animated movie occurs. Amazing how far people thought we would be in 2005, and we're still not there in 2023. During the recent San Diego Comic-Con 2023, hope is that now that the deal is moving forward with Microsoft and Xbox, that they'll go through all the archives and every hard drive and find it all. Why are they talking about finding it if it was never lost? Because it's an easy Game Pass ad. We want those games back up for people to have a chance to play. I completely agree with this, as those are, at least Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron, are two of the best games I've ever played, and I mean that genuinely. Unsurprisingly, particularly in light of the series' popularity among fans, this revelation was soon picked up and reported on by numerous video games and geek-related news outlets, including PC Gamer, Kotaku, and Bounding in the Comics. I'm just trying to imagine how this went down. John, get your ass in here. Yes, sir. What happened to that source code I told you to back up on a very specific hard drive? Sir, I thought you told me not to worry about it. Nonsense! You better get your ass back in that server room and find that source code. Yes, sir. But let's be real, we're talking about Activision here. John was probably fired 5 years ago. But here we go. Here is the real statement. However, just hours after the news began to spread like wildfire across the internet, Activision took to Twitter to debunk the Hasbro representative's original statement. These headlines are wrong. We have the code, it's not lost, and never was. The rebuttal was further supported by Hasbro themselves, who, in response to an inquiry from somebody regarding clarification on the situation, informed him to clarify, comments that suggested Transformers games have been lost were made in error. Okay, so Hasbro has bent the knee. They're relinquishing their argument. They're dropping their sword. Like, okay, yeah, that was our bad. They go on to say, we apologize to Activision and regret any confusion. The toy manufacturer continued. They've been great partners and we look forward to future opportunities to work together. So that leads me to ask, why was the statement made that the code was lost? That's not something that people just say on a whim. Even if the Hasbro representative was confused or didn't understand the question, you simply say, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. I will have to look into it. You can even, kind of, you can tickle their butthole with a feather a little bit and say, oh, we have news about that coming out soon. So that way, your butt's covered. If you never have news come out of it, who cares? Nobody's going to remember. Okay, so the article finishes up with this. Unfortunately, despite this apparent confirmation that the Transformers Cybertron games have not been lost, neither Activision or Hasbro have made any mention of any future plans regarding the series. Thus, as of writing, whether the fan favorite series will ever make a leap to modern platforms remains to be seen. I don't know about you guys, but I really hope it does. I have literally hooked up my Xbox 360 to play these games because they're just so good. I don't know, maybe one day I'll hook them up and I'll figure out how to stream them to my computer, because these games really need to be preserved and they need to be ported over because they are just I'm sorry. I know just constantly saying that they're good isn't a valid review, but it's all I've got for you right now. Maybe one day I'll actually write out a review. But those two games, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, if you are a Transformers fan, especially of G1, they were they were just a bee's knees. They were incredible. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and letting me share my thoughts with you. You have a great day. Hello, Future HP here. I just wanted to thank everybody who's currently listening to this because the channel just broke over 200 followers. That really means something to me because that means 200 people have listened to something that I had to say and thought it was worthwhile to subscribe to the channel. I know this sounds like the usual disingenuous thank you, but I can only say that that's not what this is. I am very grateful whenever I see likes or subscriptions, especially whenever I see people getting engaged with me in the comments section. I said something that made them think about something and want to share it, or they want to tell me something that makes me think. Anyway, I was happy to get over 200 subscribers, and yeah, just thank you. And I hope to see you again. And thanks for letting me share my thoughts with you.